Good Wednesday morning, Central Georgia. You're taking a live look at Hartsfield-Jackson International Airport up in Atlanta. The time is now 5:30 a.m. here on this April the 12th. Thank you so much for starting your Wednesday hump day with us. I'm Wanye Reese. Stepping out the door, you might just need a little hat and a jacket. But Alex, it seems like we have another beautiful day on tap.
That's right, and if you're like me, some caffeine. Man, it does feel like a Tuesday this morning. I am struggling, but here we are. We're looking live over at the airport. Temperatures in the 40s across Central Georgia, 45 in Macon, Warner Robins, 45 in Dublin, 46 in Perry, and 45 in Milledgeville this morning. 41 in Monticello, 45 in Sparta. We zoom this out and look across the state. We're actually a bit warmer than the Atlanta airport right now, or a bit cooler, that is. The airport is warmer, 51, the current number in Atlanta, 43 in Athens, even to the north. Yeah, look at this just pocket of blue across the southeast. We're among the coolest, at least in this section of the country this morning. 61 in St. Louis right now, and Macon's at 45. Here we go with the radar picture, and nothing going on out there this morning. Down to the south, this trough of low pressure, that is developing. That's going to bring us showers and storms by the time we get to tomorrow. But yes, maybe a light jacket at the bus stop this morning, 46. Once we get later into the afternoon, though, we'll hit 69, followed by 79. Today, that will be our high temperature, closer to the 80s, with sunrise coming your way right around 7:09. But as I said earlier, a level 1 severe weather threat in place for tomorrow. We'll take a detailed look at Future View, and I'll show you why that is in just a moment.
Thank you, Alex. This morning, an athletic trainer based in Houston County is under fire again. Videos posted on social media show Mark Taylor making racist comments. Those videos have now gone viral with thousands of shares on Facebook. Videos show Taylor making racist slurs while driving through downtown Atlanta. Taylor offers personal training in Central Georgia for kids 8 and up in football, basketball, and other sports. Now some parents like Karen Buckman, along with students and coaches, are speaking out against the trainee. Buckman says that Taylor trained her son for 3 years through Speed Edge Sports.
He shouldn't be around kids. He shouldn't have the privilege of being a coach to any athlete. And our parents need to know what they're walking into.
Story definitely has a lot of people talking online. This isn't the first time Taylor has been in the headlines. A former DA banned him from the county for a year, and he served prison time. Today, students and faculty are mourning a Mercer University student athlete who died.
I still have not met anyone that he has not made smile at least once. You know, he always had a smile on his face, and he was always fun to talk to.
It's a heartbreaking story. Bibb County Coroner Leon Jones says Baba Agbaje collapsed and went into cardiac arrest while playing a pickup soccer game Monday night. Baba was a former member of Mercer men's soccer team, and he completed his eligibility last fall. He was from Peachtree City and led his high school team to state championships. Corbin, a student at Mercer University, says he's still in shock about his death.
So much fun to be around, and you know, he was what you wanted a Mercer student athlete to be. He was committed, always having fun, giving everything he had.
Definitely sending prayers to Baba's family and the Mercer community. Baba was planning on graduating soon. His friends say he was a bright light to everyone around him. Right now, Warner Robins is already part of the national campaign to fight human trafficking. In fact, the city ordinance requires businesses to post signs to get people help if they're being trafficked. The requirement of those signs is now coming through a bill signed by Governor Brian Kemp yesterday. The bill increases the initial fine on businesses who don't post a sign at their business and online from under $500 to anywhere from $500 to $1,000. Back in 2018, the city of Warner Robins added that government buildings and any place that sells at least gum or bottled water must also post the signs. April Scarborough says she was a victim of human trafficking in 2007, and she had a hand in that city ordinance. Years later, she says it's still important to get that information out there.
It's a small sign that can really save a life. We have more cases than people realize locally even, and just having that number, it's a simple number. That's all you got to post.
Enforcement of that sign law is on a case-by-case basis. The new law signed by Kemp gives businesses 30 days to display the signage before they're charged anywhere from $500 to $1,000 in fines, as we just mentioned. If you or someone you know has been trafficked, you can call the National Human Trafficking Resource Center at 1-888-373-7888. Again, that number, it's 1-888-373-7888. and the number is at the bottom of your screen. 5:35 on your Wednesday morning. Atlanta coaches and athletes are mourning Chuck Johnson and Bryce Brooks. Both found themselves caught in a strong Florida current while on spring break and died. Jamari King with an Atlanta nonprofit says he couldn't believe the news.
I got the phone call and said he had drowned. And I knew that he was down in Florida. That's the reason why he wasn't at practice with us, because he's normally with us at that time of night. And just disbelief. I wanted to make sure that I wanted it to be somebody else and not him.
The basketball coach jumped into the ocean in Pensacola to save Brooks, whom he coached, who was trying to rescue several kids. Brooks was a student at an Atlanta high school who died Thursday after trying to rescue other kids caught in a strong current. Brooks' parents are thanking the community for their support and sharing a message about what an amazing young man he was.
Let it be amplified that Atlanta developed kids that would give up their life for the kids.
A GoFundMe has been started for the Brooks family. Alfred Brooks said on social media they plan to create a scholarship and foundation in Bryce's name. Ukrainian President Vladimir Zelensky confirmed the release of war prisoners as part of an agreement between Ukraine and Russia. The warring country said yesterday more than 200 Russian and Ukrainian soldiers have been returned home in a prisoner swap. In his address, the Ukrainian president says a total of 80 men and 20 women have returned to Ukraine in the swap with Russia. Zelensky also recently met with the prime ministers of Iraq and Greece, as well as with British entrepreneur Richard Branson. 5:37 on your Wednesday morning. One man's trash is another man's treasure, right? Well, that's the motto of Georgia College's all-female compost team. They're taking their school's food waste and turning it into compost to better the earth and for a profit.
Learning about sustainable solutions gives me hope that we can make our planet last as long as we can.
Environmental science major Anna Libby is passionate about preserving the earth. Looking for a way to do her part, she joined the college's compost team last August. It all starts in the dining hall. The dining hall at Georgia College serves about 20,000 meals a month, and about 20% of that food goes to waste. But an all-women's group of students is helping turn that trash into gold. They picked up 1,000 pounds of student leftovers a week and turned it into compost.
Already taken out 16,000 pounds, and the semester's not even over yet. Our landfills are filling up, and anything that we can do to send less to them is awesome.
They use the compost for their gardens, but usually have a lot of leftovers, so Lippy says they'll sell it, and it's better than what's sold in stores. Brookdale Gardens' first planting ceremony sprouting forth. The Resource Center is focused on sustainable gardening. That includes squash, tomatoes, peppers, strawberries, and so much more. Rutland High students built 49 raised garden beds, and the Georgia Farm Bureau gifted $2,500 for supplies and resources. Their goal, to provide at least 100 homeless people with these nutritious foods, and they hope to teach composting tips as well.
You know, what is the saying? If you can teach a kid to garden, he can feed himself the rest of his life. So we want to do that. We want to do that for all of the community, not just Brookdale.
Autism Acceptance Month is going strong. Next at 5, we'll show you how one family is trying to make a difference in the research. Plus, the future is here. One police station is here to embrace the future, but the community might not agree. More on this story coming up a little bit later on. But first, the time is now 5:39 here on your beautiful Wednesday morning, Alex. And it seems like we're going to have another nice day on tap before we have to pull out that rain jacket again.
That's right. We're going to need it tomorrow. But that video I just saw there. Okay, so we had the composting story and then the police robot. You remember the movie WALL-E?
Yes.
From Disney? That was the only thing that was in my mind right there. WALL-E, the police robot there. All right,
they
here we
go. Hand in hand, yes.
All right, it's a Wednesday morning. Feels like a Tuesday if you ask me. Here's a live look over downtown. We are talking about 45 degrees, a dew point of 43. The winds are calm, so we are not in the 30s, but areas that are closer to the 30s, say up near Monticello and anywhere north of that, could be running into some frost this morning. A little too warm for that down here in Macon and Warner Robins, though. 42 in Forsyth, 43 in Thomaston. All these numbers going to continue to fall just a few more degrees before the sun begins to come up. We'll see first light right around 6:30 this morning. Radar picture is quiet across the region, across the state, and really for the most part across the southeast. You've got to go off the coast of the Gulf of Mexico to find this area of disturbed weather down to the south. south. That is a developing area of low pressure, and that is going to bring us rain by the time we get to tomorrow, even a few storms right along with it. So let's get through today first. 70s make our way, or make the just appear. It's going to warm up into the 70s by the time we get to the noon hour, and then once we get later into the afternoon, here comes the upper 70s before we get back into the evening tonight, and the 60s take over under partly cloudy skies. But then for tomorrow, this developing low pressure system, that's going to continue to slide to the north. Here we are at about 9 a.m. Scattered showers in and around central Georgia. A few of those will be heavy at times once we get into the afternoon. In fact, mixing in a few storms right around 5. That's going to last into the evening hours. There's 9 p.m. there. And then into the overnight into Friday, more scattered showers Friday at noon. And then we get into the evening hours as the low pressure system begins to lift away. Now, the Storm Prediction Center has put a level 1 severe weather risk across most of central Georgia for tomorrow. The threat primarily for damaging winds, but also, this is like at bottom of the scale, the threat of a quick tornado could not be ruled out. But really damaging winds, that is going to be the concern for tomorrow, i.e. we could see a handful of severe thunderstorm warnings. Now, that's going to get out of here on Friday. Saturday is smooth sailing. Then on Sunday, here comes a weak front that will provide a few showers for Sunday afternoon, maybe even a storm or two, but I really think the better chance for that is going to be actually tomorrow across central Georgia, and then Sunday is just kind of like the second event, if you will. So 40s for the next few hours, and then warming up very quickly, 70 by noon, all the way to a high temperature right around 79. We will be closer to the 80s today. In fact, a few spots might make it into the 80s down to the south. Then for tonight, an overnight low temperature of 54. The wind will be relaxing for a bit. We've had it out of the northeast for like 5 days now. It's what brought us all the rain last weekend, and it hasn't stopped. Sunset is at 8:02. Here comes the 7-day forecast. An 80% chance of showers and storms tomorrow, followed by a 60% chance of showers on Friday. Temperatures continuing to warm back to 82 by Saturday. And then once we get to Sunday, that's when that front's going to come through with a 40% chance of rain, with sunny conditions prevailing as we start next work and school week. 75 on Monday and 79 on Tuesday.
Welcome back to today's Lightning Round. The question was, what cloud type is highest in altitude? A, cumulus, B, cirrus, or C, stratus? The answer, B, cirrus. Did you get it right? If not, you can always join us again tomorrow for another chance at Lightning Round.